Welcome to CEO Insights Asia Executive Series, Principles of Scaling. Welcome to CEO Insights Asia Executive Series, Principles of Scaling. Is the strongest enterprise are those that constantly evolve. It's no longer the game of how big you are, but now the game is how big your ecosystem is.
Now, but I think this really speaks volume why we're attracted to hang out with one another. Like for example, in CEO Insights Asia, I really like spending time there because I'm surrounded with like-minded people. So,
Good morning guys. Good morning mga fellow CEOs. How are you doing today? Kamusta ang Friday ninyo? I hope you are doing all good and everything is green today. At kung hindi man, alam ko kayang-kaya mo yan. Before anything else, my name is Roel, founder and CEO of G-App Digital Marketing Solutions, your host for today. For today's topic is getting shit done, all right? And quick reminder lang why we do this every Friday at 10 a.m. We want to install DNA principles that scales organization at faithful yan. Umulan, umaraw, holiday o hindi, every Friday we will do this to strengthen the DNA principle. So to all participants here in the Zoom, we are already 17,000. All right? And for those who are already nasa Facebook Live natin, ano pang hinihintay nyo? Pasok na kayo dito sa ating Zoom para magkaroon tayo ng mas maraming interaction, mas intense interactions. Join na kayo for you to gain at least one insights that you can immediately apply and execute within your organizations and day-to-day operations. Alright. Ano bang purpose natin? Okay, so the team is purpose, alright? And we are focusing on principles, practices, and people. Alright? So, overview lang ng mga topics natin this month. Okay, week 1, getting to work. Week 2, getting started. Week 3, getting synergies. And week 4, which is today, getting shit done. Alright? Okay, announcement lang. Circle meetings happen every Tuesday at 11 a.m. where we have intensive CEOs leadership training. Okay, ito yung interactions with our co-CEOs in every field, alright? And dito nabubuo yung mga networks, yung friendship, and nagkakaroon minsan ng mga collaborations and all that. And kung gusto mo, alright, and actually it happens simultaneously with other circles. So we have the Sellers Hub, We Trade, and Gramworth, Ripple Kids, Minstarnet, and other circles pa na nabubuo kasi maraming tayo nabubuong mga circles, ano? And yun yung mga tinatawag nating circle multiplier. So kung gusto mo nyo ng intense interaction, alright, kung gusto nyo ng mga intense interaction with other CEOs and share ideas with them, please sign up sa mga circle meetings natin. The link will be provided here and also posted sa Facebook page natin. So ano bang experience ng mga CEOs sa mga circles and events ng CEO Insights Asia? Please watch this video.
So hi everyone, this is Eliza from Sellers Hub and I want to share my experience joining Dear and CEO Circles. So first is na-inspire ako na mag-join dito sa CEO Circles kasi isa siyang grupo ng mga CEOs na kung saan is nag-share sila ng mga problems and experience nila regarding their companies. And para sa akin is sobrang makakatulong talaga yung CEO Circles na ito upang mas mag-improve ka and syempre mag-improve yung company na meron ka. Kasi they have saying na, kahit pa ulit-ulit yung itong naririnig na kung sino yung parati mong kasama, syempre is yun yung gusto mong maging. Kaya sama ka lang kasi yung kung gusto mong maging katulad ng mga CEOs na nandito sa loob ng circles na to is join na sa aming CEO Circles. Every Tuesday yan at 11 p.m. to 12 p.m. And don't forget to watch Principle of Scaling every Friday at 10 a.m. So see you guys!
All right. Another announcement, guys. Every Thursday, there's a briefing happening para doon sa mga new sign up, ano. And dito tinatalakay natin ano ba yung mga workflow, ano ba yung mga nangyayari, at ano ba yung principle behind bakit ba nabuo itong CEO Insights Asia. And ayun nga, if you just signed up, there's a meeting and these are the faculty that facilitates yung ating mga briefing. And without further ado, let's get to our topic. Introduce ko na yung speaker natin, one of the founders and executive advisor, the CEO Whisperer, Mr. Florentino A. Hernando. I'm so sorry. Before I introduce Sir Fa, meron tayong meeting na binubuo. These are the CEO meetings na mangyayari this coming June. And masaya siya, sobrang saya niya. Personally, I already attended the meetup, and this happened May the 13th, Friday the 13th. So ito siya. Panoorin natin kung ano mga nangyari. Ayun, patawad naman. Patawad, sorry. I-intro ko na lang ulit si Sir Fa, no? So that's what's happening. Sorry, that's what's happening sa mga sa mga meet-up natin, May Tetris battle, pati yung mga sasakyan nagte-Tetris na rin. And sobrang saya niya, sobrang saya. Every corner maraming masterminds na nabubuo, maraming network na nabubuo, at maraming connections na nabubuo. At ang masaya nito, magkaka-wavelength yung mga tao. Maraming nabubuong mga ideas talaga. And ayun na nga, sorry, take two. Without further ado, the one and only, one of the founders and executive advisors, CEO Whisperer himself, Mr. Florentino A. Hernando.
Alright! Good morning, everyone! Happy Friday! Salamat, Roel! Diyos ko, ang dami nating hula hoop na nangyari, bago nangyari, ang dapat mangyari. Good morning! Welcome to CEO Insights Asia Executive Series. We are now on our last episode for this series of execution. Yan ang focus natin, one moment lang, mukhang may nagba-background sound pa sa akin. Okay. Yun. Sino yun? Ayan, enough na natin. Okay, going back. Sige, so formally introducing myself sa 23,000, mukhang ito na ata ang pinakamalaki kong attendance. Medyo nagsiselos pa rin ako kay BK nag-90 ba? Tama ba? So wala talaga tayong fan base eh. Anyway, so for the 23,000, my name is Florentino A. Hernando. I'm one of the founders and executive advisor of CEO Insights Asia, and our purpose is infusing ideas that build lasting companies. We're here to learn together. Paano ba natin gagawin ang mga companies natin, ang businesses natin, ang organizations natin into something that we can transfer to our children, our children's children, and to the coming generation. So shout out kay Lizelle Cananea, nandito siya. Ayan. So kasi ang one of our silent partners, yan, si AJ Araneta, nandito yan. Alam ko, hindi nagpapa-shoutout yan. Pero isa shoutout kita. Ayan, he is the person behind our papers, our accounting, our Zoom. Yan, so maraming salamat. Recon, medyo may magandang balita tayo dyan. At matinik yung CEO na yan. One of the companies that were named as, that was named as a great place to work for last 2021. Okay, sige. So agendas tayo. Before I go there pala sa mga nandito, no, kindly share the live feed natin sa Facebook so that we can reach more people. And if you're in Facebook, ano pang hinihintay nyo? Andyan yung link, di ba? Mag-sign in na kayo dito and join the Bardagulan. Sorry. Okay, sige. Agenda tayo. We'll do a conversation starter. As always, we want this to be as engaging as possible. And then we will do a very quick recap. Ayan. Tapos, pagkatapos nating mag-recap, magkakaroon tayo ng board. I love this execution at the highest level. Ayan, mukhang need natin to eh. The feedback that I've been getting so far in this series is this has been the most intensive. Winarningan ko kayo, week 1 pa lang eh, di ba? Sabi ko sa inyo, medyo intense to. No? Dito si Coach Ron. Coach Ron, welcome at sa mga kasama natin sa workshop for tomorrow, Strengths, Unlocking Strengths Workshop. Ayan, so shout out sa inyo, sila Cha, sino pa ba? Sila Babylin, yan. So we'll talk about the board and then core processes, and then we'll talk about the 7 essential behaviors of CEOs in terms of execution. We'll talk about the people of execution. Yan, isa sa critical building block when you're building an organization that executes flawlessly, or tinatawag nating flex, flawless execution. And last but not the least, we are going to get practical. So, ready na? Sige nga, konting engagement ka, pakisagot tong tanong na to habang tinatawag ko ang conversation starter na magsasagot nitong question na to. For the rest na nandyan, kindly chat it down. Ano kaya ang dahilan bakit ang breakdown of execution is commonplace? Parang normal na may palpak, di ba? Than it should be. So, bakit ganun nga? I just want to hear your thoughts or read your thoughts. Kindly chat it down while I call on Assumptionistas. Okay. While I call on Miss Mel Medrano of Gramwork. Miss Mel, pasok!
Hello, Sir Fa! Hello! Good morning! Good morning sa lahat. I'm so happy. Pinaghandaan ko na tong tanong na to. So, hindi na ako high blood. Kasi napakalma na ako. Tsaka nag-polygon na ako. So, okay. Bakit? Hello, Sir AJ. Yan. So, bakit common daw ang pagpalpak, sabi Sir Fa? Totoo naman, no? Totoo naman yan. Hi, Mrs. Alam mo na, ikaw next. Bakit? I only have two things. First is, it is expected of everybody. Everybody is expected to do execution. Second, but nobody wants it.
Ooh! Ano yan?
Diba?
Sige.
So like, it's
Kwento.
parang, diba, when you tell everybody to do it, or parang nobody's going to do it. Parang ganon. So, ganon yung tingin ko na parang analogy ko on why it is becoming a commonplace. Yeah.
Everybody wants execution, but nobody wants to do it.
Yes. It's expected of everyone, but nobody wants it.
Sige.
It's not sabi mo nga, di ba, Sir Fa, it's not sexy kasi to just execute.
Yeah, mas sexy pa ang vision, you know.
Yes.
Creativity, innovation.
Yes, correct.
It's so dry, di ba? Sige.
Oh, sir, naha-high blood na kota na po.
Sige, bigyan na natin kay Princess. Sige. Ma'am Ses, ikaw daw.
Good morning po. Good morning.
Yan.
Siguro sa akin, why is it a commonplace? Kasi tinotolerate natin.
Yung!
Like, okay lang na i-execute pero hindi naman, alam mo yan, hindi naman siya tama, malayo sa putukan, malayo sa So, na-expect the result. So, we tolerate it eh. Wala nagtatama or wala nagtataas ng standard. Okay?
Ayan! Okay, salamat. Talagang pinaghandaan na. Gumagaling na ang mga sagot. Sige, sige. Oh, ganun kasi pag pinaghandaan no? Hindi yung ginugulat ka na lang on the spot. Sige, sige. So magandang practice yun the night before. Magbo-volunteer na tayo ng sasagot. Yan, may nagsabi, walang system dito sa chat, no? Diba? May nagsabi na assumptionista, ano pa ba mga nabanggit dito? Yan, merong walang system, may tumpak, boom, deads. Ayan, there you go. Ayan, sige. So keep it active and engaged dito. Let's keep it active and engaged sa ating chat box. Sige, so moving forward, let's do a very quick recap and then we'll talk about yung mga binanggit ninyo. I have my time. I still have many minutes. So recap, when we say execution, what do we mean by this? Right? It is the discipline. Again, discipline is a habit, it's a practice that we can get better of doing exactly, diba? Execution, excellence, exacting, exactly what must be done at the exact time and quantity, committed. This is a commitment, whether one feels like it or not. Okay, we keep reminding ourselves, listen, good intentions don't count. Diba? Bad execution made with good intention is still bad execution. Diba? So yun tayo eh. It's not about the feeling. We don't win on intention or emotions. We win on great execution. So in short, it's the habit of getting shit done. That's it. Ang tanong lang, I had this conversation with BKM Nashutis here. No? Yesterday we were doing the BR. And the question was raised, paano mo malalaman if magaling ka sa seller sub? Sagot, simple lang. Pag na-hit mo yung performance scorecard mo. Diba? Hindi kung marami kang followers, o marami kang friends, o maraming pumapalakpak sa'yo, maraming umahanga sa'yo, those are good. But if you want to know if you're good at seller sub or in anyone in this ecosystem, just look at if you're able to hit your targets in your scorecard. So it's the habit of getting shit done. Uy, dumadami. 25,000 na tayo. Ha? Sige, what else? What execution is not? Execution is not intention. I can count real time how many intended to join our circles. Diba, mga CEO to. But 81 signed up. They intend to join. The question is how many shows up. That's a different conversation. And to think these are CEOs. Diba? So, yeah. And I messaged them and I asked if they want to join, and they would acknowledge, and then no show. Not really execution. Yeah. So moving on, diba? Decision. It's not a decision. Okay? Intentions, they don't execute. Decision, even though we decide to do something, doesn't automatically mean it happens. Execution is not decision, and execution is not action. Just because we're doing a lot of things doesn't mean we're productive. Diba? Activities doesn't mean accomplishment or achievement. What is execution really? Execution is result. Plain and simple. Diba? Hindi tanong kung gaano kadaming points ang na-score na i-shoot mo. Diba? Hindi tanong kung tamba ka, 0 to 3 ka, kung natalo ka, 0 to 3, tinambakan natin yung kalaban natin, kung sa series, talo naman tayo. Diba? So it really doesn't matter how many points we scored or gaano kadami na dribble natin. Ang ending, nanalo ba tayo? It's the results. Yes? So far, so good. O yan hindi na ako mainit nakalma na ako. Di ba? Yan. Please type, kalmado na si Fa. And still engaged. Para naman meron tayong aktibidades dyan. Ayan, sige. Kalmado na si Fa. So, why execution breaks down? Bakit ba nagkaka-breakdown? Maraming dahilan. But largely, this is the culprit. Confusion is the enemy of execution. Ang gulo-gulo eh. Diba? Hindi malinaw kung kalmado na rin ako, sabi ni AJ. Diba? Hindi malinaw kung sinong gagawa ng alin kailan. Diba? Tapos nakarealize sa memory. Ako, patay. Sa dami ng nangyayari ngayon, we can't depend on memory. Mahirap yun. Okay? So, anong mga responses pag may breakdown ng execution? The first one is effort. Try again. Without try and try again. Without changing anything, without pivoting. That's not a good move. It's insanity. We keep doing the same thing over and over again and we're expecting different results. That's insanity, diba? Or next, ito, Excuses. Naku, sus, meh. Okay. Listen, I want to park here konti about excuses. We don't like this because I was analyzing, bakit ba I hate excuses? Because excuses is not for me eh. Like for example, nag-commit ako kay Roel, I'm going to do something. Okay? Tapos hindi ko na-deliver yon. Sinong affected? Si Roel ba o ako? Diba? Obviously si Roel yon. Diba? Kasi meron siyang inaasahan na gagawin ko na hindi ko ginawa. So it's him. He's affected. Okay? And then, here's the thing. I make an excuse. Diba? I explain. Valid or not, being clear ha, whether an excuse is valid or not, it doesn't change anything. It simply wastes people's time, lalo na ng time ni Roel. Nag-explain ako kay Roel. Nagbago ba yung sitwasyon niya? Hindi naman, di ba? So really, excuses or explanation is really for me to make myself feel better. Diba? Hindi ko na-deliver kasi ganito. So, from the looks of it, really, excuses is adding insult to injury. Diba? It's like saying, it's not my fault kasi ano. Diba? So, we do away with excuses. That's why medyo mabilis yung, if something didn't happen, no more excuses. Kasi that's why pala, that's why I get really ticked off the wrong way. If something didn't happen and then mag-explain pa, parang, just don't talk na lang, diba? Just let's move on with our lives. Kasi pag nagsalita pa, nag-explain pa, parang naiinsulto tayo. I mean, I'm speaking for me, no? Parang, diba? Let's not do that. Let's just own it. I made a mistake, and this is the way I'm going to fix it. Bawi ako. What does that mean? Diba? Bawi ako. What does that mean? Give me something concrete that you're going to do. Ito ang gagawin ko by this. Hindi ako high blood. Kalma pa ako nito. You should have seen me last week. Okay. So excuses, diba? The most important response, and the right response to an execution breakdown is embrace it. It's my fault. What do I need to do differently? I will propose it to someone na nagkulang ako. No more explanation. It's a waste of time. Diba? So embrace it, own it, and then we will see later why this is critical in execution. Embracing it. Okay. So in the human side of enterprise, the math works differently. When you have the right people and then there's synergy, 1 + 1 = 15. So that's the topic that we talked about last week. When you have the right people and they have synergy, 1 + 1 = 15. So question is, how do you unlock synergy in an organization? It's alignment. Now, this is the key to unlocking synergy in an organization. Create alignment. Okay? So, ano mga telltale signs na meron tayong misalignment? Well, obviously, pag something you expect to happen, didn't happen. You're expecting something. Because here's the thing, no? At this level, your CEOs, your business leaders, diba? Your word, our word, is our bond. It's stronger than any contract. Marano pang pirmahan natin yan. At this level, at the end of the day, may mga engagements tayo na puhunan laway na lang talaga because the reputation and the trust is already there. Build upon years of being dependable. So kahit pa magpirmahan tayo, if I don't have your track record of being dependable, I'm still going to question that. So that's the key. No? So something you expect to happen didn't happen. There's misalignment. Oh, shout out, nanonood nanay ko. Mami, okay, here's your baby boy once again. Diba? Na-high blood na naman. Okay, sige, moving on. All right. So, ano mga telltale signs pa? Okay, so something that's supposed to happen, you expect to happen, didn't happen. You're firefighting. Diba? I think na-experience namin to kanina. Diba? Nabulabog yung mga nananahimik sa bahay. Yun ang problema pagka mahina sa execution. Na may message nang wala sa oras. Diba? So, firefighting, reactive. Again, okay lang maging reactive kapag growing. It's not reactive, it's scaling. No, pero kung paulit-ulit na lang, yun ang problema. There's something, that's what you call firefighting. Okay? So when you're a CEO and you're firefighting at paulit-ulit yung problema, you know there's misalignment. Okay? What else? There's the feel, yung need natin to, dapat parang patulog ka na parang gagawin niya kaya to. Text ko nga, or message ko nga, or follow up ko nga, yung ganon. If you feel the need to micromanage, there's misalignment. And last but not the least, there's tension in the culture. There's moral problems. Yes, please type moral problems if engaged pa rin kayo sa akin. Uy, kalmado na ako ngayon na, hindi compared last week. Ayan. Moral problems, di ba? Sabi ni Frank. Ayan. Ayan. Uy, si Coach Juan pala dito. Uy, si Jobs nandito. Yung model natin. Uy, si Stephen, naka-experience yan ng tension, di ba? Alam ni Stephen ang pinagsasabi ko rito. Ayan. Sige. So, ano ang causes of misalignment? Number 1 is lack of clarity. Hindi malinaw kung ano yung expectation, okay, on both ends. Diba? Yung he said, she said, ayaw natin yun. That's why documentation is important. Next is communication. Aside from documentation, there's constant conversation. And last but not the least is confusion. Paano naging confused? When we say confusion, confused si leader. Diba? Ligaw si leader. Kasi usually, pag ligaw si leader, hindi niya alam kung anong gusto niya. Copy-paste sa competitor or flavor of the month. Sure ball yan, yung organization, ganun din. Yan. Okay. So, 3 notes about alignment. Alignment does not happen by accident. Diba? We can't wait for alignment to happen. Hope for alignment to happen. It doesn't happen in an organization. It's by design. Second, it's not forever. Okay? Kami lang ng asawa ko ang may forever. Di ba, Mami? I love you. Yan, di ba? So, yeah, kami lang ng asawa ko may forever. Diba? But the alignment in an organization it's not going to be forever. So, we have to keep realigning. Not ideally, it's a must every 7 days. And last, it starts at the top. I look at it from this illustration na nabali ko yung braso ko. I don't wait for the doctor to come to me. Ayusin niya yung braso ko, di ba? Or mag-hope ako. Sana, hayaan ko na lang. Mag-aalay niya mag-isa. No. I take ownership in going to the doctor and aligning it. Same thing with our organization. Di ba? Sa organization natin, we have to take ownership in making sure as CEOs, as business leaders sa department natin, sa teams natin, sa business natin, it's our job to make sure that everyone's aligned. And if everyone is not aligned, well, it's always our fault. Sabi nga ni Lisel, di ba? It's always our fault. That's the unfair part of leadership. Okay? Okay, so we're talking about people here. Leadership na tayo. So here's the principle I want you to take home. Organizational alignment leads to operational excellence. And that's what we want here at CEOInsight Asia. Diba? You're here because you want to build excellent institutions. Diba? Yung mga wala rito, they're okay. Okay, God bless you. But you're here not simply because you want to feel better. Diba? I mean, if you want to simply feel better, then don't join here. Hindi kayo magiging masaya dito. Diba? But if you want to be better, then you're more than welcome to be part of CEOInsight Asia, the circles that were happening every Tuesdays. And because and the beauty of it, when you become better, you feel better, which then fuels you to become better. It's a flywheel. Okay, so let's talk about the board, the execution at the highest level. Okay, we'll talk about the relationship between a board and a CEO. Para mas ma-appreciate natin to. Parang I want to share siguro an idea why I'm like this when it comes to execution. Because many of the people here listening are like CEO founders. You don't have a board you report to. And I act as a board with my client partner. So ano bang relationship ng CEO and board? It's like this, okay? So there's a board. Usually these are investors, the owners of company. They don't want to do day-to-day operation. So they hire a CEO. The CEO stands for Chief Executive Officer, Chief Executive Execution Officer. So the board hires a CEO, then the CEO, not the board, the CEO says, I will present the plan to the board. Okay, if you hire me, ito yung ibibigay ko sa inyo. Okay? So for the sake of conversation, to simplify it, let's say, if you hire me, I will give you 1 million a month in delivered, okay? Delivered sales, hindi gross sales, ha? Delivered sales, 1 million a month. Right? Ito yung target natin na gagawin ko for you at ito yung plano, ito yung roadmap. So ganon ang ano niya, no? That's the way I do it I sit on boards. So that's how I operate, no? That's how board operate. Next, now the board, me being the board, one of the investors, I pour my resources to the CEO because I have every reason and incentive to make sure that the CEO succeed in his job. Kasi pag hindi siya nag-succeed, sulog yung pera ko, investment ko. Diba? So I pour my resources, financial, intellectual. Usually boards are composed of CEOs from other companies. They're much more experienced. That's why they can be advisors to the CEO of that company. Intellectual, professional, and relational. We give the network. Okay, mukhang lacking ka rito, kailangan mo. Mukhang mahina ka sa hindi mo alam ang strengths mo. Coach Ron, tatawagin natin si Coach Ron. Kausapin mo si Coach Ron. So ganon, we pour the resources to the CEO. And then, the board and the CEO, AAA, align on the target and the plan. Agree. Okay, dapat may agreement so that we hold one another accountable. So the idea is, okay, I'm your CEO. Here's my proposal. I'll give you 1 million a month. So in 1 year, that's 12 million revenue. Delivered sales. In exchange, ito yung plano. In exchange, I'm the CEO. Okay, agree. Shake hands. Next. So ngayon, 1 quarter miss, a CEO gets up. Board meetings happen once a month. So once a month, the board will not bother in the day-to-day operations. That's the job of the CEO. Pero once a month, mag-uusap lang yun. Number lang pag-uusapan yan. Did you hit 1 million or not? Okay? And there are no excuse here. It's a yes or no lang. Ganun kasimple yun. If you don't hit it, how can I help you? Yun ang question ng board. If you don't hit your performance target, how can I help you? Okay? So the CEO will say, I miss it kasi ganito. Now, we're not talking about profitability because you might not hit your target and you're still profitable. Depende sa agreement niyo yun. Okay? So pag first month, hindi pa profitable, patay na tayo. Loss pa? Nako. Usap na tayo yan. Okay, anyway, so 1 quarter ganon. So let's say 3 straight months, 1 quarter miss. CEO gets heads up. Okay. You missed, you've already used up your first quarter, Heads up. How can I help you? Ganon. 2 quarter miss, 2 straight. Losses. O kahit hindi na losses, hindi na hit yung target. The CEO gets a first and final warning. This serves as your first and final warning. You're not hitting your target. And then on the 7th month straight, na miss ulit ni CEO. The CEO is packing. Wala na yun. Wala nang Wala nang excuse. Wala nang ganyan-ganyan. Okay? Kasi ganyan ang pinag-usapan Ganyan ang agreement You know? And then we find another CEO. Okay? Now, the timelines may change, sure, but usually this is the general practice. Diba? And depende sa size ng organization, depende sa agreement. And we're talking about hitting the target, not profitability. Kasi there's those are different things. Kasi usually, pag hindi mo na-hit hindi ka profitable the first month, second month, third month, medyo, hindi ka naabot ng 6 months. Diba? Kasi you're not profitable. Ibig sabihin, you're not capable. And usually, kapag ka nag-excuse na ang CEO, first month pa lang, tapos na yun. Kasi as CEO, don't make excuses. Ang tawag doon, Chief Excuse Officer. And we're not that. Diba? We're Chief Execution Officer. Yes! So far you're learning, please type CEO ako if you're with me. Ayan. Nandiyan pa ba tayo? Yan, CEO ako. Ayan. Okay, sige. Wow, dami. Alright, sige, moving on. That's why we're called Chief Executive Officer. If we make excuses, it's called Chief Excuse Officer. It's always our fault. Diba? We hired you because we agree that you'll give us this. If you don't give us this, we're not going to talk anymore. Well, ano pag-uusapan natin? Doesn't change anything. If you talking to me will give me 1 million, then okay, usap tayo. If not, then there's no point. Right? Okay. So, how does a CEO ensure the process that the execution happens in an organization? Okay? So this happens in the core process. By the way, in my engagement with my client partners, since many of them don't have boards, I act as a board. Business review, I was working with a CEO, I had this conversation, and then I was attending a man-com meeting, and then sabi niya, there was this one of the executives, no? And this person was making a fool out of alam mo yun, yung sa man-com meeting, tapos alam mo, nag-BPS lang talaga siya. Yung trying na, sige lang, kahit di ko alam sinasabi ko, lover lang, di ba? And everybody knows, di ba? This person make a total jackass out of himself during the meeting. And when we left, sabi ko sa kanya, your organization is getting better. Sabi niya sa akin, parang nandun ka ba sa meeting? Di mo ba nakitang nagbulilyaso yung ginawa nun? Sabi ko, yeah. Kaya nga, sabi ko, you're getting better kasi if you keep holding people accountable, okay, 3 things will happen. Number 1, people will be forced to get better. Every 7 days, they have to report on the numbers. Okay? Either they will get better, that's 1. The second, they will realize this isn't for me. I can't. And that's okay. That's okay. Ba? Hindi ito pala, hindi ko kaya. And they will leave. Okay? Then, when they leave, then we can bring in better talent. So, they will get better because that person will leave and they will be able to gain better talent. Or number 3, wala ayaw niya talagang umalis, mabubwisit ka, sisibakin mo siya. Diba? Then, you can hire someone who's a better talent also. But 3 things will happen if we keep holding, lalo na our executives accountable. Kasi executives execute nga di ba? Ikaw lang yung chief executive, but you have executives. They're supposed to execute. We're paying them to execute. And if they're not executing, let's pay someone who can execute because we're losing money. Yes? Okay? Hindi ako high blood, ha? Yeah, true. Di ba? Salamat, Lisel. Okay, so these are the 7 essential behaviors of CEO. We talk about the processes. It's just a recap. Okay? This is the 7 essential behaviors of CEOs. Now, I'm just going to gloss over it. If you want to understand it fully, please buy the book, Execution. Huwag na kayo manghingi sa akin kahit meron ako, hindi ko kayo bibigyan, bumili kayo libro. Hindi ako galit, sorry. Kasi pag inaalo ko ng libre, walang sumasabi di ba? Kakatuwa naman yung ibang CEO pag sinabi ko, I'm reading this book. Bukas, nasa Shopee na bukas, nandyan na. Di ba? They buy the books that I mentioned. So buy Execution, read it. Right? Ito yung 7 essential behaviors. Number 1, know your people and your business. Actually, know your people and live your business. As CEOs, hindi tayo dapat ivory tower. Hindi tayo lagi nasa office lang. Diba? Bahala na kayo dyan, malaki na kayo. Diba? It's not like that. We're very hands-on. Sure, we empower them, but you know that who's executing and who's not. And you know how the business operates. Sure, hindi tayo expert sa accounting. Sure, hindi tayo expert sa digital marketing. But we know what's going on. At least we have an idea of it. Or we have people whom we depend on and trust that they know what's going on. Even though blinded ako rito sa or hindi ako aware, I'm not blinded, you see everything, but hindi ako expert dito. I have someone who is an expert whom I can trust. And the reason why you can trust them is because they execute. And the reason they execute is because we develop them to be executives. Yes? Right, that's number. Second, ito, ensure realism. Okay? In my conversations this past 4 weeks, it's always about puro real talk, sir, yung mga sinasabi mo. And that's parang new for me. Real talk, because this is how I operate. I say it as it is. I say the truth. My opinion is my opinion. It doesn't have to be it's not based on how I feel about you or how the temperature in the room. It's my opinion. And your opinion is your opinion to me. That's cool with me. But I say it as it is. So I've been operating it this way that it's so normal for me na people is like surprised na parang masyadong real talk. Nasaktan ako, sinafuck ako, yung ganon. And as CEOs, it's our job because we cannot execute on false reality. But we don't sugarcoat things. Sugar-coated truth is a lie. So we don't do that. It's our job to ensure realism is happening in our organizations. Next, set clear goals and priorities. You don't have to set it. I don't have to set it myself. But make sure that there's a clear goal and priorities from our organization, for our organization. Follow through. Iba to sa follow up. Amateurs are for follow up. Okay? Follow up, and you don't want that. Diba? If later we'll talk about that. But you want to follow through. Ibig sabihin, you get stuff done. Yun yung gusto natin. Hindi follow up. Pag pina-follow up ka, something's wrong with that. Kasi ayoko pina-follow up ako eh. High blood niya, maliban sa asawa ko. Nakakalusot ako sa asawa ko, pero others, hindi bre. Ayoko nang pina-follow up ako. I want to be proactive. Yan. Let that sink. Yan. Sugar-coated reality is a lie. Okay. Follow through, not follow up. Those are 2 different things in spelling and in meaning. CEOs, we follow through. Parang Steph Curry yan. Mga tipong pag bumato ng half court, hindi na lumilingon. Kasi mga team niya bumababa na. Kasi bakit? Shoot na yan eh. Ganon ang natin. Ganon ang dapat natin, ang mentality natin. Reward the doers. Obviously, you get the behavior you wish you reward, diba? So we reward execution, we don't reward execution. Yeah, we don't reward non-execution. Okay? And not rewarding something is already a problem, diba? So we want to call out, diba? Kasi yun ang reward, hindi ko papansinin, I'll let it slide. Filipino, I get it. Diba? Medyo ano tayo, feelings eh. But you don't, again, you don't win on great emotion, diba? Or intention. We win on great execution. That's why you're here. Yeah. You want to get better. The 25,000 of you and the people who's watching in Facebook, diba? Yung nanay ko isa ron. So yeah, we reward the doers. I was reading this. Who you are is what you do. What you do is who you are. Ben Horowitz talks about culture. Sabi niya, there's something, a saying in the military. If you saw something that's below standard and you walk past it, you set a new standard. Sabi ko, wow, safak, di ba? If you saw something that's below standard and you walk past it, we set a new standard. So we reward the doers, those who execute. Next, we expand people's capabilities. And this is where knowing your people comes in. Because when execution breakdown happen, two things lang yan. Either learning curve or learning how to execute, or hindi talaga kaya, incompetent talaga. And us being hands-on, we know the difference between the two. Kasi minsan, pag wala tayo sa sitwasyon, we tend to judge, ay, hindi marunong. Baka naman nasa learning curve lang. So this is where we expand, we coach them that to make sure that they get the job done. Okay, and last but not the least, know yourself. Let's be real with ourselves. Let's be honest. Because if we're not honest with ourselves about our strengths, our weaknesses, and be okay with that, then we're going to pretend. We're going to create false realities, and you can't execute on false realities. Yes. So far, so good. Sugar-coated reality is a lie. Ayan. Alam ko ang aking kaya, alam ko ang hindi ko kaya. And that's okay. Okay yun. The ability to embrace that. We have nothing to prove and no one to impress. Diba? Pagdating dito sa ecosystem natin. Just be who you are. I'm not good at digital marketing. I'm not. Andiyan si Roel. O diba? I'm not good at e-com. Andiyan sila RD, andiyan sila Frank, andiyan sila Chris. I'm not good at accounting. Andiyan si Ces. I know, but I'm not good. Diba? The reason why I can say I'm the best at what I do in the niche that I operate in is because that's what people say. You're really good at what you do. In fact, I get invited niya to operate as board of people. Hinihintay ko na nga lang yung si Frank. Ano ba Frank? Kaya ba tayo mag-uusap? Okay. So anyway, moving on. So yeah, I'm good at what I do in the niche that I operate in because this is my strength. Right? You bring me somewhere else, ako, awayin niyo ako. Baka multuhin niyo ako, hindi kayo mumultuhin ko. So we stick to what we're good at. And as I transition, I believe, ito yun, yung culture of execution. Yan, the people who execute. How do you know? Okay? Ang problem kasi sa ating mga CEOs, magaling tayo mag-execute individually, solo. The challenge, however, is how to execute as an organization. And this is where the people of execution, those who have the gift of execution, well, not the gift, but the discipline to execute, is where they come in. This is what we need to attract. How do you know if someone is good at execution? This is the right person, okay, that I should invite in my team. Tatlong F. Mabilisan na lang to. Someone who can focus on the goal, can formulate and focus on the goal. How do you do this? VNT, verb, number, timeline. If you don't know how to do that, panoorin yung previous episode. Ayan, di ba? So, someone who can do VNT. Someone who can write the goal in VNT format. Focus on the goal, formulate the goal. The second is someone who is honest with themselves. Someone who faces reality. Someone who can look in the mirror and say, you're the problem. Yeah. It's your problem. You can solve it alone. No one will solve it for you. There's a problem, may execution breakdown, someone will say, no BS, no excuses, no drama, no pa-cute-cute. Ay, kasi ganito, ganyan. Hindi ubra kay Mel yan. Hindi ubra kay AJ yan. Wala, hindi ubra sa atin yan. Tama na pa-pogi, tama na pa-cute. Diba? Let the results do the bragging for us. Yeah? So, someone who faces reality, they own it. It's my bad, I will fix it. And then they say how. Hindi yung, I will fix it, babawi ako. Well, how? Talk is cheap. I remember si Frank kagabi. Si Frank, sabi niya, Sir, paano mo ba sasabihin yan? Paano mo ba sasabihin na talk is cheap, good intentions don't count without being harsh? Sabi ko kay Frank, Frank, pag natutunan mo yan, turo mo sa akin. Kasi hindi ko kaya. You know, we say it as it is eh. You know? And last but not the least, ito, someone who follows through. Diba? Someone who follows through. Hindi yung follow up, tapos ikaw pa yung magfa-follow up. No. Diba? Someone who delivers. And if hindi makaka-deliver, okay lang, yung uunahan tayo. Diba? Hindi yung last minute, magsasabi, ay, hindi ko kaya patay. Diba? Ganon. Dapat, number 4 pala, someone who drinks fish oil. Diba? Kasi lagi high blood. Okay. So far, so good. I still have 12 minutes. Yan. So, recap tayo. Someone who focuses on the goal. Someone who, recalled it. What's the second one? Someone who, sige, pakitype, the second one. Face reality and someone who follows through. Diba? Yun, pag nakita mo na you have someone na hindi mo na kailangan i-follow up, okay to. Okay. Let's have that conversation some more. And then slowly increase the responsibility and accountability of to that person. And let's see if they rise to the occasion. Then you see, I have a keeper. I have mine. I have a few. You know. Kaya nga may mga kinakausap na ako eh. Diba? So, okay. That's how you scale, by the way. All right. So, there's a picture, an image I want to leave with you. As we go to the next section. Okay. The great execution is founded on core processes, the AAA business review, the CEO's behaviors, the 7 behaviors, and last but not the least, there's a culture, people of execution. Why culture? Because if you have a people of execution, you have someone, your company is composed of people who execute, that becomes a culture. Right? So, pa-plug ko lang to, si Coach Ron. Ayan. So, I attended the strengths workshop, unlocking strengths kay Coach Ron. Coach Ron has a reputation. Matindi yan si Coach Ron. Bago ko pa siya makilala personally, I've been hearing about him. So, he's a certified Gallup strengths coach and he talks about the strengths. So, if you haven't attended, umattend kayo. No? Bring your team so you'll have an understanding of what your strengths are. And I kind of knew my strengths back then. I know I'm an activator. But this one is actually so mas naintindihan ko kaya pala ako abnormal. Ayan. Sige. So ito yung top 5 strengths ko. Okay, so I'm an activator, individualization. So I know how to talk to people individually. I don't talk generic. Ayan. Activator, I start things. Harmony. Ayan, di ba? Parang but harmony. Ayoko kasi ng drama eh. Ayoko ng issue. Ayoko ng ganon. So, ayoko na nakikipag-away, ayoko ng tension. That's why I don't work with people like that. Ayan. Yeah, huwag ka na makipag-discussion ka lang. That's why I'm big on DNA. Because I don't want to work with people who don't share the same DNA. Kasi may tension pa parang pag isang DNA, mabilis na. Diba? Gets na kagad natin. So, that's why, that's my wiring, harmony. Number 4 is focus. I finish what I start. That's what makes me unique. Because I think si Coach Ron may activator, but he doesn't have focus. So he's good at starting and then delegate it for someone to continue. Ako, I start and I finish. Alam ni Stephen yan. Alam ni Stephen Santos yan ng Nature Pro. Kaya magsasend na yan ng video mamaya. Kasi alam ni rin ni Eliza yan. Alam ni Kenji yan na nag-birthday kahapon. Happy birthday, Kenji. Shout out sa'yo. Ayan, di ba? Ayan. Para ako tumigil, bigay niyo yung kailangan. Alam ni Lisel yan. Learn from Lisel. Para ako mawala sa pagmumukha ninyo, gawin nyo lang kailangan nyo gawin. Ayan. And then maximizer, highest quality. Yan, that's me. So I want to highlight on the 3, no? I start things, and then I end things. I remember si Gordon McDonald, sabi niya, what's the point? He was coaching a runner, someone who ran and then midway decided to quit and did not complete the run, yung running, sprinting. Sabi niya, what's the point of running fast if you can finish? Sabi niya, run to finish, Gordy, and finish strong. That's what CEOs are all about. What's the point of starting something we can finish? We want to finish and finish strong. And last but not least, maximizer. Elevate the quality. Yes? So, having said that, why am I saying this? These are my personality types. Okay? I did not come in na ganito ka strong yung aking I developed it. And these are the kind of characteristics every CEO must have. Doesn't have to be your personality. But this is the things you need to do. You need to start something. You need to make sure it's finished to the highest quality. Regardless of what your personality type is. Whether introvert ka or whatnot, this is execution at its highest level. That is if We want to build our companies into something that becomes a lasting institution. Not only impacts people, the families that work for us, but also the immediate vicinity in our company, the community, and then eventually the city, and so on. All right. So getting practical, mabilisan na to. Diba? Hey, mabilisan. How do you execute as an organization? Number one, ensuring clarity. That's our job. We have to constantly keep things clear. Second, we expand capability. We coach our team, expand their capability. And last but not the least dito, we enforce accountability. When we're working with our teams, we don't ask na pwedeng gawin mo yung trabaho mo. We don't hope na sana gawin niya yung trabaho niya. We don't beg, please gawin mo yung trabaho mo. No, as leaders, we enforce it. This is your job, do your job, and I will do mine. Because at the highest level of execution, someone will hold us accountable. And if we keep protecting someone who's not doing their job, it's our head on the line. Yeah. So with that, okay, we ensure clarity, and then after having clear goals and metrics, we coach them, day-to-day coaching, and then we hold them accountable. Diba? We don't do their job for them. That's their job. Kasi if we're gonna do their job for them, but nandiyan pa sila, diba? They do their job. We help them. They're not gonna do our job for them. Which then will reinforce clarity, and that is the flywheel of performance. Yes? Yes? Please type yes if you are still the 24,000 with me. Yeah. All right. In closing, and closing ko na to. In closing, okay, we talk about we're ending the series, execution series. We talk about purpose, infusing ideas that build lasting companies on the first week about getting to work. We talk about world-class principles. We talk about world-class practices last week. The business review, and now we talk about world-class people. So you can see world-class, diba? As I came across this quote, as I was preparing for this in iClose. Yan. I'm not sure if nakita nyo to sa Facebook, no? But I want to read it. Sabi dito, at the entrance gate of a university in South Africa, the following message was posted for contemplation. Sabi dito, destroying any nation does not require the use of atomic bombs or the use of long-range missiles. It only requires lowering the quality of education and allowing cheating in examinations of the students. Why? Because patients die at the hands of such doctors. Buildings collapse at the hands of such engineers. Money is lost at the hands of economists and accountants. Humanity dies at the hands of such judges. Such of religious scholars, and justice is lost at the hands of such judges. The collapse of education is the collapse of the nation. And I was thinking about that. And I know this for a fact. Let's be real, diba? Real talk naman tayo rito. Our education system in the country is not the best. Diba? I know, I'm an educator. Licensed teacher ako. Well, hindi na, kasi hindi na ako nag-renew. But I teach elementary, high school, college. I know, and I pursue my master's in university, State University. So I know the quality of our education system. And I love our country. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but ang hirap na mahalin. Diba? I mean, hindi tumataas ang kalidad. So, having said that, I'm not like our government. I'm not gonna rely my retirement. I'm not gonna depend on the government for my retirement. No? And shouldn't be. In any country, by the way, you shouldn't and I shouldn't depend on the government to bail us out in our retirement. It's our job. Kahit pa US ka, kahit pa Canada ka, we shouldn't do that. It goes the same with our education. We shouldn't depend on the government when it comes to our education. So, with that, what if we reverse it? And this is what we came up with. The problem with our educational system is we are being developed to become globally competitive employees and not world-class business leaders. Kaya ka gumraduate ka sa Big Four na school so that you can what? Get a good job at a large corporation. Nothing wrong with that. But that's not what we want? That's not what we want. So with that, I still have, extend lang ako siguro a couple of minutes, So I said, what if we reverse it? So yesterday, the formalization of the Executive Council of CEO Insights Asia was launched. And we have Chris of MN Starnet, BK of Sellers Hub, one of our co-founders, si Grammar, si Mel Mediano, and si RD of E-Trade. We decided to create a certification program. So this is it now. These are the council members to make sure that what if we, elevate the quality of business education in our country. Okay? So, not the formal schools, sure. Diba? But what if we create this one? We create CEO Insights Asia Executive Education that will infuse the people, the businesses, or the organization in our ecosystem with the DNA. Now imagine this. Now imagine. The purpose of the Executive Council is to certify DNA-driven businesses in our ecosystem. Because a lot of startups already share our DNA. But what if soon, in the near future, we'll have hospital owners in our ecosystem who share DNA of being missional. They build institutions for legacy beyond simply making money. Methodical, systematic. Diba? They want to constantly get better. And they're a multiplier. Expanding life-changing impact in an ever-increasing measure. Imagine that. Right? Imagine if we have engineers and construction firms who share the DNA of CEO Insights Asia. And imagine if you have universities, who share our DNA, who's part of the ecosystem. Oh, sure, sama na natin. Government leaders and their agencies join the ecosystem and they share our DNA. Imagine. And if we do this, man, that's how we change the world. So it's like ISO certification. You can do businesses with other companies, sure, diba? Pero pag ISO ka, talagang quality ka. It goes the same here. The principles of scaling will always be free. The circles will always be free, and you can interact with anyone. Like Ruel mentioned, a lot of collaboration has been happening. Go. But if you're a CEO Insights Asia certified business, man, mas kumpiyansa tayo na, mas tiwala tayo na ito, alam ko, missional to. Alam ko, methodical to. Alam ko, multiplier itong company na to. Right? So in closing, last 2 slides. I was a part of thank you, Jason De La Rosa. I was invited to become part of Bounce Back when it was being accelerated by Facebook, now called Meta. And I was working with, we had this conversation with different community leaders in Southeast Asia. And if you've attended Getting Started, alam nyo, nakwento ko na sa inyo to. Diba? And I said there, different community leaders from different countries in Southeast Asia. I said there, governments don't make money. They don't. It's the businesses who do through our taxes. So hence, for a nation to have a vibrant economy, it must have a vibrant business ecosystem. Okay? And how to create a vibrant business ecosystem, a business ecosystem must be filled with excellent businesses. Diba? I mean, you can create vibrant economy if incompetent yung mga businesses, sloppy. And for us to create excellent businesses, we have to have excellent leaders. Guess what we're doing here at CEO Insights Asia? Guess why we're talking to CEOs? Because to transform an organization, all you need to do is transform the leader. Transform the leader, transform the organization. Transform the organization, you transform the immediate community. And if enough businesses and organizations get transformed and led with excellence, then that's how we change the world. Because at the end of the day, the wealth of the nation depends on the health of businesses and organizations. So